welcome to the Mediocregamecast. It's Thursday, February 20th. This is episode 2. Pretty good considering that we were all pretty much mad at each other after the first episode. But I'll be your host as of today, Nicholas Houston, also known as Tghost132. Joining me is Joshua Dabney, also known as Beastum21.
How's it going, guys?
Jacob Olson, also known as Not Busy Enough.
Hey.
And Brad Konerman, also known as Zysmo or Bronze.
Forever
What's
Bronze.
going on? Thanks, guys. Thanks for the introduction.
All right. We're going to change up the format a little bit this week. We're going to try to add some more structure to the podcast. So first things first, we're going to talk about what we've done this week. We're just going to say if anything interesting happened in our lives, if we played anything interesting. So we'll just kind of go around the table. Dabney, what have you done this week?
I really haven't done a whole lot outside of League of Legends and Battlefield 4 with you guys. Been pretty busy with life stuff, I guess you could say. But
Any interesting life stuff?
that's school life stuff, man. It's school. But yeah, I've been just playing a lot of League, just trying to hone in my skills. There was some tournament that I joined in, and I ended up winning that, which I guess really isn't that big of a deal. Wasn't much of a challenge, but
Don't be so hard on yourself.
for some people, you know,
Don't be too modest.
for some of us here, you know, they may have thought it was a little bit of a challenge. Zysmo. But
It's a pretty real tournament. It's fun, man. I enjoyed it.
That was subtle.
you know, for bronze players, I guess it was kind of difficult. But I mean, it was a cool setup. It's by a group called No Bull Gaming. They have it all set up to where basically you log into TeamSpeak, and they do random team captains, and from there they decide teams, and they put everybody according to their rank into each little group, and then the team captains pull from there, and then however many teams they have, it's basically a tournament. It's a daily thing that they got going on. So if you guys want to join in at some point and do that, I think they do them every day, and then there's like a big tournament they do every Friday. So it's pretty cool. Checked it out on Wednesday, I think is what it was. Or
I like how I found that, and I let him know about it, but
yeah.
I don't have anything
Taking all
else
the
to talk
credit.
about. Like,
So Brad, he comes and he's like, yeah, I played in this tournament yesterday, and I'm thinking it's like something legit, and he's like, yeah, you know, we didn't do very good because my team, whatever, but we're all in TeamSpeak and it's pretty organized and whatever. So I come in on the next day and he's like, yeah, this is all you got to do, just download it, come in, play. You just set up like an account through them, and they approve you right away, and then you can start playing. And so I got dealt this team, and it was like one platinum guy and the rest of them were bronze, and I'm a gold 5 guy. And we go through it and we just annihilate everybody. And then like Brad, he loses in the first round, and I'm like, dude, I thought you said this was hard. And then they ended up like streaming the championship game. So I was on Twitch for a little bit. It was pretty cool. The experience was different because I've never been in like a competitive thing like that in League before outside of playing the ranked games. But
it was fun because everybody was in voice chat, and it wasn't like you actually had to get on and do, you know, a 5v5 ladder game. It was kind of just something you can just throw together really quick, but it was cool because everybody was working together. And it was
right,
and
it was like
made
an
it more
organized
competitive.
solo queue. It was fun.
yeah, I mean, it was cool. It's all custom games, so it's not like you're really playing for anything per se other than like bragging rights. But I mean, I like playing it simply because you get rid of all the flamers and the rage kids that all they do is just spam chat talking about how bad you are if you make one mistake. Like when you're actually talking to someone, people are a little more hesitant to like talk trash to you, like on your own team and stuff like that.
Sometimes.
For
Yeah,
the most
I had a
part,
dude that
people
tried to
don't have
play
the courage
AP
to
Vars
like
on our team.
hear other people's voices and then talk trash back. That's what I've noticed. Unless you're friends. If it's us, like of course I'm going to talk crap to Brad just because I know him. But you know, when it's random people, like typically people don't do that. So it was really cool. Like you can sit down and you just like we had a bronze guy who was playing support, and he was pretty awful. But you know, we were all helping each other in the fact that we're like, you know what, like, hey, try doing this instead. And so it was kind of like a learning experience for all
Why
of
don't you
us.
try not being terrible at the game and dragging us down?
Yeah, I mean, no one like was really negative on my team, and maybe that's why we won. But it was a really cool experience. And then, you know, like I said, I played a little Battlefield, but outside of that, I've been playing just like emulator games. I started playing Super Metroid again. But outside of that, nothing really.
All right. Brad Coleman, you been playing anything other than that tournament?
I played the tournament, and I think I fell down about 4 divisions, in league in solo
Well,
queue.
Hold on. What division did you get up to?
I did about 4. It was like 4 or 5 qualifiers for silver 2, and then as of today, I'm silver 5. Yeah, silver 5 still.
So we're making that series about how to play League, and you going backwards.
Yeah, I'm
is what you say.
I'm climbing down
We're
the
gonna make a
ladder.
series how not to play League, and we're just gonna chronicle his adventures.
This is how not to play League.
Do everything opposite of what he does, and you will advance.
It's just like, dude, man, I just can't catch a break.
Yeah, that's the bad part, especially when you get like bad elo, like you just lose. Like say you've played really well, but then you start losing like games over and over and over, and like your elo goes down, and then you just seriously, like, no offense, but you get placed with like the worst players on the planet that just don't know how to play the game. Period. Who just hit level 30 and decided to go rank. And,
I think I was like 12 or 13 games positive, win-loss wise for solo queue, and then I looked at it today and I'm like -3. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
yeah, that's rough.
But yeah, I was playing League, played a little bit of Rust, I think, but nothing too spectacular.
All right, Jacob Olson, what have you been playing?
I been playing a lot of games. Not any League, because I'm really terrible at that game.
Yeah,
but
we know that.
Yeah,
We know you'll never
haven't
play
even
that
got
game.
to 30 yet. But
He's just being
I played the Titanfall beta for PC, and overall impressions were pretty good. It's very rare that, I'm a pretty vocal player, but when I'm playing by myself and I'm not in any kind of chat, it's very rare that I make any kind of noise or cheer, and this game had me yelling. I was like, holy shit, or that was cool, or whatever, because it's not like a Battlefield or anything like that where it's a really big scale, but it's just for a beta, and for a month before it's coming out, it was a pretty good, solid release. There are some issues with textures. It's still really low resolution textures. And I heard that in a newscast a while ago, that there was low resolution textures, and I thought, I probably won't notice that. It's about the gameplay, but you do notice it. But
the low resolution textures, that's specifically because of the beta, isn't it?
Yep.
That's gonna be upped when the game releases, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think the beta, this round of beta, at least for PC, was just to test compatibility, server load, and that kind of stuff. There is a couple issues with just some graphical issues that I was having. I don't know if it was my drivers or if they haven't pushed out, any NVIDIA driver updates. I have a GTX 770 right now, but it was just some pop-in that I was noticing and some screen tearing, even with VSync on. But otherwise, graphically, it was really good, really smooth. I was I think I dropped down to 59 frames and then stayed above 60 the rest of the time. I just noticed it at 59 once, but pretty good frame rate. And I was actually just keeping track of that with Bandicam. And that's how I was looking at the frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
Gameplay wise, it's a blast. I know there was a lot of, I don't know what the word is, a lot of fear about the 6v6, 8v8, the small team
I think
sizes.
the word you're looking for is confusion.
Confusion, yeah, but it's definitely, there's a reason for it. When the maps aren't huge, they're not small, but they're not huge either. And when everybody, especially the game mode where everybody starts with a Titan, it's like a last Titan standing kind of game mode. The map fills up fast if everybody's in a Titan. But as far as, do you guys have any questions at all? How was it or anything like that?
Well, just about the team size. Is it 6v6 or is it 8v8? Or is it both in their different game modes? Or...
It's from what I saw, it was different game modes. For some reason, there were a couple games, there's slots for 8v8.
Okay.
And for some games, I was only getting paired 6v6 and 7v7. I think it was just people jumping in and out of the game. Maybe some connectivity issues, but it wasn't, I don't know. The small team size didn't affect the gameplay at all. The only thing I would say that they need to work on with that is the NPCs are just meat. They're absolutely no threat. And you watch, like, you have kill cams on, like, if you get killed, you can see the player who killed you, whatever. And you could see people just, like, I got killed one time, and the guy had killed me on a roof, and around him were 4 NPCs shooting at him. At least had to have been no more than 5 feet away, and they weren't hitting him at all. So they're absolutely no threat, and they're just purely to rack up score.
Yeah, I've been watching a couple videos of like people playing, and they'll just like kind of sit on a roof with like a sniper rifle or something, and they'll just see NPCs just line up like across the street in like a perfect line for them to just be taken out.
Yeah. What it is though is that the NPCs get injected into the map through either like an airdrop or they'll like fast line down into the map, and it's like the game can't figure out where to send them from there. It's so they just kind of stand around and just get mowed down right away. The only time they really spread out is if there aren't any engagements early game, and then they can spread out from there.
Yeah, the future is now.
Pretty much, yeah. But they're really just meat. The only thing I didn't like about the game was the scoring. It's not. Basically, it's you kill a NPC, it's 20 points. You kill a player, it's 100. You kill a Titan, it's 200. And there's a bunch of different denominators from there, headshot bonuses, stuff like that. Kind of the stuff you see in Battlefield, but
so it's kind of Call of Duty-ish.
It's kind of, but I thought it was the way they have it lined up at the end of the match was not a good indicator of skill. I know there was, especially in domination. I do a lot of domination when I play Battlefield. That's really the only way I get my points is by taking points and doing the actual domination.
I think it's called
objectives.
Conquest in Battlefield.
Oh yeah, Conquest. Domination is just the classic game on it. But I would constantly do that. In Titanfall, you have to be really close to the point, and the reward for taking points is just not as worth it as it is in Battlefield. It doesn't show in your final score. So because I just don't get a lot of kills, I was near the end of a lot of the rankings at the end. But it's, as far as balance, it's really well balanced. When you get in a Titan, you're not God. When you get in a Titan, you can definitely be taken down. And I know in our last show, we talked about a possible imbalance of people, when people get on your back when you're in a Titan and shooting out your brains or whatever like that. I think that happened to me once. And if you keep moving with the Titan, that's hard to get on a Titan like that. I spent a whole game trying to do it, and I got on once, and I got shot off right away, and I don't think it's going to be imbalanced at all.
So what you're saying is you're terrible at the game.
I am terrible. I'm terrible at first-person shooters. My favorite game is Minecraft, so it's kind of funny how to all 4 of us, I got the first-person shooter beta access, but I mean, those are my impressions. I thought it was pretty good, and I'll definitely play it, especially when you guys are able to play and we can team up and communicate. Well, that's one more thing, is they have the infrastructure there to have in-game team speech, but
you turn it off instantly.
It's not like Call of Duty where everybody's just screaming their ass off right away.
Oh, you fucking idiot! Why don't you shoot in the head, you fucking idiot, you fucking faggot!
I obviously can't speak for the 360, which is kind of a demographic of first-person shooter players.
Xbox One, Olsen.
Yeah, God, whatever, same thing.
What is video games?
But there wasn't hardly any cooperation. You could definitely know who was going to win right from the bat by the people who were cooperating. Teams that stayed together, teams that captured points together, were 99% of the time the teams that won.
All right.
Other than that, I just reinstalled New Vegas, so gonna play that again.
I want to play that again now. Well,
that's it.
For me, aside from normal life stuff, going to school and playing League of Legends, I've played through episode 2 of The Wolf Among Us, which it's from Telltale Games. They made the Walking Dead series, which I didn't really like it, and now they're making Wolf Among Us, and they're working on a few other things. It's basically a kind of point-and-click action adventure game, in a way. Like Olsen, I know you played it too.
Yep.
Where it's they set up the story, and it's not really of a game, because you're not really playing. It's basically, it tells the story it leads you up to a moment where you have to make a decision, and then you make the decision and watch what happens almost. There's like quick time sequences and stuff at some points, but that's about as much of a game as it is. It's more of just a story.
It's essentially a graphic novel that you control the choices, and it's live action, essentially graphic novel. You watch and make the story happen, but it's a story. It's not a game, I would say.
That sounds
Some people
so
would argue
boring.
that, but it's.
Well,
I mean, if you like story-centered games, it's fun. That's
Yeah.
why I like
And I
Walking
don't-
Dead.
Well, for me, for Walking Dead, I didn't like Walking Dead because it's so fucking boring. Like, it's all the old zombie cliches and stuff just lined up that you already know what's gonna happen pretty much. And like, I just wouldn't care about. Well, with Wolf Among Us, it's kind of like a noirish sort of vibe, but the characters are cool. It's all they're called fables, and it's all like the old, like
Fairy tales.
fairy tales and stuff. Like, you play the big bad wolf from Red Riding Hood. Your name is Bigsby.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so you're like the sheriff in this town of fables, like living in like, it's like 80s New York, pretty much. And like in episode 1, you come up, you're fighting it's not the lumberjack, what's his name?
The Huntsman.
Yeah, the
From
huntsman.
Snow White.
Yeah. So you're fighting him because like he's like beating up a hooker.
Seems legit.
Yeah, so that's like the first thing you do in the game is like you're answering a call of like him fighting a hooker, pretty much, and then you have to fight him. And then
Just
episode it goes on, and it's just the characters.
Imagine all your like old fairy tales that you were told, all the stories you were told growing up, all those Disney movies that you know, were raised on, pretty much, put into a really gritty, you know, adult world. Like, for example, in the second episode, you meet the Little Mermaid,
Yeah,
and she's a stripper.
yeah, she's
Oh,
a
that's
She had
awesome.
Tits and everything.
she's a
but it's
stripper
like-
/ prostitute.
Yeah. So like, it's just, there's cameos everywhere. Every little place you look is some kind of fairy tale character, and you get a
Yeah,
whole
it's
journal with it too that tells you about all the fairy tale characters and the actual old stories about them, not the Disneyfied characters. You get the old, you know, German.
Yeah, the story
kids'
about
tales
Ariel
about
and how she didn't actually get her kiss, and she ends up turning into
Yeah.
sea foam and dying.
Yeah, that shit's like brutal scary.
Disney just completely left that off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now it's about combing your hair with forks and stuff.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just crazy. Like Ichabod Crane is the mayor, and he's like a dick. Snow White is his assistant, and she kind of goes with you throughout the story. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like it kind of revolves around you and Snow White, and really it's pretty much you two just interacting with all the other characters and just going around the world, and just I don't know. The story is way more interesting than Walking Dead, I think. The setting's way more unique, so it keeps me interested. And in Walking Dead, like, you had to walk around a lot. And you don't
So
really
you're
have to
saying
do that in this game.
It's like DayZ.
Not easy.
Not at all.
No.
I know you're trying to get this
I mean,
segue going,
well,
but we're not there yet.
I know what he's saying. The Walking Dead versus The Wolf Among Us is a lot faster paced. You still get a good, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours of play each time an episode comes out, but you do so much more. Walking Dead was a lot of atmosphere, narrative kind of stuff, and it spans a lot longer amount of time.
Well,
So you're...
With The Walking Dead, it's... With The Wolf Among Us, it's... Here's where you have to go. It's like, you don't have to spend all this extra time just wandering around like a fucking empty area to get to where you're going. Like, with The Walking Dead, it was like, you're in the base. Walk around and talk to this person, and then talk to this person, and talk to this person, and talk to this person. Like, it's just... Instead of just giving you the story and stuff, it was like it was a lot of filler, which was just walking or moving, and the controls sucked. So
Yeah.
it was just like, oh, let me go talk to this person, and then you're have to walk in a straight line, and walking forward would be like D for some reason because the camera angle's all fucked up, and then the camera angle switches, and so you have to hit another button to walk forward this time, and the camera would screw up, so you'd be like, oh, hit D to walk forward, and then the camera angle switches, and suddenly D makes you walk backwards, so you walk back into the frame you were just in or some shit, and it would just piss me off, so I hated that one. But Wolf Among Us is way better.
Easy.
Well, I'm sorry, Olsen, it was...
Getting a little heated up in here.
It sucked!
I don't deny it.
So that's what's happened throughout the week for all of us. Now we're gonna move into some news, video game world. Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Everyone played that because it was an awesome game. And
The original.
And 2, and Underground.
I never played it.
I gotta be honest, the part I played the most in Tony Hawk was the
skate
arena
builder.
Yeah, skate park builder. I
I
spent
knew you
hours
were
in skate park builder.
Say that.
Like, oh, I do
Shocker.
such sick tricks off of this
Better do
ramp.
that instead of the actual game.
I'd play it for like a couple of minutes and then build a whole nother one.
I couldn't even remember that was in the game until you just brought that up.
That was like the best part of
No,
Pro
it
Skater
wasn't,
2.
dude.
What are you
No,
talking
man.
about? Oh god.
You didn't grind across like the helicopter and shit?
Yeah. Break down the
Yeah, I guess
walls.
I mean I remember that from the story, but it's
right.
just
Well, we'll reminisce about it later. But Tony Hawk recently appeared on a radio show called Demolition Radio. I don't know if it's his radio show or he was just on another one. And he said, we're working on a game, and it's pretty cool. And a co-host that he was with, it doesn't say who it was, said there's a whole suit you have to put on, which is assumed to be motion capture. So apparently they're working on another Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. And because someone had to put on a motion capture suit, then it probably isn't a remake. So it's probably something new.
why do you say that? Why do you say? I mean, why wouldn't they use mocap in a sequel or something like that? Why?
Well, I'm not saying it's not a sequel. I'm saying it's not like Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD2 or some shit.
okay.
Like
Okay.
they're making
when they have
something.
a budget to like use new technology and stuff, like the budget's that big, then I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of leans towards they're just gonna make an entire different game.
I see what you mean. I guess I thought you meant like
No,
just because they're wearing a mocap shooting, you know.
no. I'm still saying they're probably making Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I'm just saying they're not updating one of the old games.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying. All right, now we can continue reminiscing about how awesome Tony Hawk Pro Skater was.
Yeah, it was legit. Everybody had like their special like super abilities that they could do like backflips or do the worm on a skateboard. Like how awesome was that? It was way better. Like I was telling you guys earlier, like the skate video game where you had to actually ride on the skateboard. Like who actually wants to do that? Like who actually wants to like run around and like, oh, let me try and do a kickflip on this skateboard when I can't.
Actually, let's clarify. What wasn't the Skate is just a famously glitchy game.
Skate was the game where it tried to put in like it was like
open worldness.
Not really open world, but it was a camera like behind your guy, sort of like Pro Skater, but you had more control over what the board was doing. Or I don't want to say more control. They wanted to give you more control over what the board was doing.
Right.
And it was just harder to do tricks and stuff. And people were good at it, but I played that game, and all I ever did in that game was get up as high as I can and try to like make my guy fall off the board in the worst ways possible. It's like I never.
That's what everybody did.
That's pretty much what everyone did. So I never actually really played Skate. I don't know if there was some goal to the game. I don't really know.
I've never played it. I've just watched
fucked
hours and hours
around
of glitch videos.
Yeah, well, the glitch videos are pretty great.
Yeah.
And Tony Hawk Pro Skater is like the arcade version of skating games, which pretty much started all of them.
Yeah.
Where I don't remember if it was 2 or 1 or which. It's been so long since I played them. I don't know which one is which. But it's like you're in some Mexican kind of bullfighting arena, and there's like a loop in it. And another one, you're in like some aircraft hangar, and there's an old helicopter in it, and you skate across the blades on top of the helicopter.
Yeah, I remember
And
That
the
was
soundtrack was
2002, I
awesome.
think.
It was pretty much the best like PlayStation games ever.
Remember for summer breaks?
I don't know about that. Ever?
I remember
Yeah.
for, like breaks, man.
Argue
summer
it, Olsen.
breaks
Argue
in
it.
School.
Yeah.
Like we would just play that the whole summer break.
Yeah, I remember when my buddies told me that there was like secret codes that we could like grind infinitely.
And you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
I wonder how long I can hold
Or
this
it was
shit down.
like just moon
Go
gravity
take a
or
dump.
whatever.
You're still grinding.
Just grinding around in a circle. I go to like the swimming pool, just grind the ledge, like wrap it
just
around
see
and
how
around,
many
do like
points you
one
can get.
kickflip to get like the multiplier on it.
Like I said though, I spent most of my time on the fucking like arena builder, whatever it was called. The most experience I have with skateboarding was tech decks before that. So like
Jesus
the little
Christ.
fingerboards.
Oh, yeah, those things.
Yeah,
Look,
I never had.
I ain't gonna lie.
Those little
I
toys
lived
that all
by
the
a
cool kids
prison.
had in the cafeterias, right? And they used them and
Yeah.
they played them. While
Yeah,
they ate
like,
their
look
lunch.
at
Yeah,
these
the cool
fucking
kids.
sick tricks. And then they, like, move their hand up and, like, just fuck it up. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's so fucking sick.
Yeah,
It's
or
like-
they grab
and
their thumb underneath it. And
Yeah,
just,
and, like, hold it
in
up
their
and just, like,
hand.
kind of move their hand up. And I'm like, what the fuck are you
Slow
doing?
motion.
It's like, dude, you're not doing anything.
I'm like,
There was
what?
always that one kid who like could actually do like the kickflip with his fingers.
Yeah, there was always
Yeah.
one Asian kid who could actually do it. It's like, yeah, my parents beat me if I can't.
I have to be good at something, so I chose this.
Right.
They said it was violin or kickflips.
So we were talking before we got on air about that like peripheral where you had that skateboard that would sit on the ground and you actually had to like lean for it. Was that like a Wii add-on or something like that?
No, that was like,
So, like-
actually for like PlayStation and Xbox.
Really?
Yeah, that was just
I
like,
remember it being terrible.
Yeah.
because
Like,
I
it
remember
wouldn't
like
pick
you had
up
to
the
buy
pieces.
like the giant skateboard.
Was that a
came with
Tony
the
Hawk
game.
thing?
Nah, that was like Skate or whatever.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I could have sworn it was for Tony Hawk. But
I thought it was a Tony Hawk thing that actually used like a skateboard, and it was awful, and that was pretty much the downfall of the Tony Hawk series.
Yeah. From there, I think it just kind of went downhill. I know it wouldn't pick up your, like, because you had to, like, move your feet on the side of it to go, and it wouldn't pick up your feet, so, like, every once in like, you'd be just flailing around, and all of a sudden your character would go, and then to do a trick, you had to, like, actually move the deck. Probably fatties like me would have broken it and stuff like that.
Fatties
Jumping
with
up
that
and down.
neck
trying-
beard.
That neck beard. But, like, yeah, it wasn't a very good thing.
I'm looking to see if I can actually find if it was.
Anyway, I think if they do this reboot, it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be huge. It's probably just news right now, and we're into the next generation, so everybody's clamoring for like what new games are coming out, whatever. But I think when it does come out, it's gonna just try to go for that specific demographic, and that's gonna be it. It's not gonna be this huge thing, like a new IP or anything like that. It'll be for those, 10 to fucking 16-year-olds who are actually still into skateboarding. I can't remember the last time I've seen anybody skateboarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right.
So-
It's Tony Hawk Ride. And
You
that
guys
was
remember
the one
Miller?
that was the downfall
That dude would
for
skateboard
Tony Hawk.
everywhere.
It came with
Really?
the
Yeah.
peripherals.
Yeah.
Like you'd actually have to ride on the skateboard.
Yeah,
And
I
infrared
remember
sensors.
pretty much after Tony Hawk Underground, like they released Underground 2, and it wasn't as good, and that was pretty much the downfall of the Tony Hawk series, as I remember. Like everything there, Underground was good, and then everything after was pretty much downhill.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Skate came out the same time, like right around the same time Underground did. Or
Yeah.
Skate 2 or something like that. I don't remember.
Alright, well aside from Tony Hawk, also in the news, Irrational Games, the developers for Bioshock and System Shock 2, things like that, they said they're gonna finish making the DLC for Bioshock Infinite, the Burial at Sea, and then they're gonna dissolve the company.
Everyone but 15 people.
Yeah, it's, what's his name?
Ken Levine.
Ken Levine, yeah. Ken Levine is, they're like, well, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm going to take like 15 people from the company. I don't think he said which ones. And we're going to make a small studio again to make like audience-focused games, whatever that means. I thought Bioshock was pretty audience-focused, but I guess not.
But we got to remember that he's still going to be part of Take-Two. Him and his little team are going to be part of Take-Two now. And I think what they're doing in doing this is, I honestly don't know if Bioshock Infinite made back what it cost to make it. I know it was, rated really highly, but I don't think it sold anywhere over of the development cost like Grand Theft Auto 5 did, where it made this ridiculous amount of money. Maybe you want to look that up in the background here, but like, I think they're trying to keep. I think he's sick of it, and I'm kind of basing my opinion off of Inside Gaming's opinion. But I agree with him that he's sick of the long development cycles that have to go along with these games, and so they're going to keep him on in Take-Two and do more indie games, just to keep his creativity not in check, but still utilize his creativity, but have him still be a part of Take-Two. Keep that talent in-house,
All right, we're going to take a break real quick. Stay with us. All right, we're back, everybody. We had to interruption there real quick. But we were talking about Irrational Games dissolving. We were pretty much done talking about it, I think. I don't think anyone else had anything else to say. So we're just going to move on to the next segment. This week, we're going to talk about two games that have been selling pretty well on Steam. They're both fairly similar, and they're both still in alpha. We're going to talk about Rust and DayZ. So, Brad Konerman, you can talk about this segment as much as you want, because you've been quiet as a church mouse.
Oh, man, I don't have much to talk about when it comes to Tony Hawk.
You were just bitching.
Yeah, you were
I don't
just
get
like,
to
hold
tell
on,
you
let's...
about.
Daddy's like, hold on, there's a
anything.
vacuum cleaner going outside, and then he goes, and then you're like, I haven't said anything, I don't know anything about fucking games,
I'm
why
just
can't I
leaving.
talk about Rust and DayZ?
I'm leaving.
Hurry up. Talk about Rust or
So
DayZ.
we're gonna I guess compare and contrast Rust and DayZ then for the most part, and
that is the segment.
and give our preferences. So for me personally, I actually prefer Rust, and the reason I prefer Rust is because it's a quicker game, and you can accumulate stuff a lot faster.
Well, hold on. Before you go in that, let's say what Rust and DayZ are.
Yeah,
They're both kind of not really survival horror games, even though like there's kind of zombies and stuff, but it's not really a survival horror game. It's more of just straight survival.
Yeah.
So,
Open world kind of.
Yeah. It kind of drops you down in a map. You don't have anything. You kind of have to forage for like
start
food.
from scratch.
Yeah, you start from scratch. You've got
Literally.
nothing. In Rust, you're naked. And in DayZ, all you have is like a pair of jeans and like a shirt on.
And a flashlight.
Yeah, you have a flashlight. So it's a survival game. It drops you down in the map, and you kind of have to make your way around to find supplies, weapons. In DayZ, you have to find like storage things like backpacks and coats, things like that to put on. And yeah, they're both fairly similar games, but they're both also really different from one another, even though they kind of focus on survival. So now that that's out of the way and people know what they are, continue.
So yeah, I mean, the reason that I really like Rust more is, like I said, it's a lot easier and quicker to gather stuff. I think that DayZ is it's based off of Arma, which is a simulator. It's a military simulator, and so it's like real life. When you go into a house, like you'll find like a can of beans, and you're just like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this shit?
Eat that can of beans. And just like real
Stay
life,
alive.
just like real
Survive.
life, just like in real life, every time you try to go down a ladder, you die.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world.
Another thing in Rust too, like a big difference between Rust and DayZ is in Rust you can actually craft stuff. You can gather raw materials from the game world, and it's a lot like Minecraft. Honestly, Rust is a mixture of DayZ and Minecraft, in my opinion. And I think that I don't know. I like Rust a lot more. I think it's a lot faster, and you can, like, if you get killed, then it's a lot easier for you to start back up. Whereas in DayZ, like, I about shit my pants the other day when I was playing. Nick was there when I was playing. I scared him because I thought I was gonna die, man.
Yeah, I was up at the airfield in DayZ, and it's a big map, so it takes me like 30 minutes to run to where you are, which is a city on the coast. So I'm running down there, and you have nothing at this point, because I don't know if like you just got killed or you were just starting out again or something.
Yeah, I
so
think
you didn't
I just
have
spawned.
anything. Yeah, so I come find you at the coast. We go into a city because there was no one else on the server at the time. And you like run into a zombie or something, and all I hear is you just go like, like just start like gasping or some shit. I'm like, what? What the fuck is it?
I had never felt that feeling in my life. I was so fucking scared because I just like turned and this zombie's like clawing at me, like because he was glitched out, like in the floor and just like coming at me. And I knew that because I closed the door. That was the thing that freaked me out the fucking most. Was like slam this door. I'm like, yeah, I got you, bitch. And then he ran right through it. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I was like, started hauling ass. I was like, I thought I was gonna have a heart attack, man. It was bad.
Yeah.
I think what makes it
that's
scary.
everyone's experience though in DayZ, man. Like if you've played that game, you know how important it is to not die. Because like if you even have like a semblance of like equipment, like you don't want to die because it takes forever to get it back.
Right.
So
that's
if you
what I don't
see a
like
zombie
about it.
running through the floor glitched out, that could
remember
be
the
potentially
first time
like
I
20
played
hours
with
of your
you
life
guys.
gone.
The very first time I played with you guys, we were running around for like fucking 45 minutes. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I was like, all right,
finding
well,
food and
we
shit.
we made it like a quarter away across the map now. I'm just like, what? And I'm like, dude, if I die, I'm just gonna like turn this shit off and just like go play something else. Fuck this. But honestly, I like DayZ also, but you have to work with the team because, dude, if you die, you're so fucked. Like,
It's good with a team, and I kind of like playing it by myself because I don't have to run around. Like, being a Dabney play a lot, and I'm like, all right, where are you? He's like, I'm over at these trees. I'm like, which trees? And like half the time it's just us trying to verify where the other person is so we don't fucking shoot each other. So it's kind of fun to play by yourself too. But I'm the
You
opposite.
can be more reckless by yourself, is what you're saying.
Not reckless, but I mean, I don't have to worry about somebody else. Like, I'm like, all right, I know that I'm by myself, and if I see another person, it's probably all right to shoot them. Like, in DayZ, people frown on, like, people that kill on sight.
that's
And I kill
not
on
true,
sight.
man. Every motherfucker kill. Like, dude, every person
I don't think it's
I've
frowned upon in DayZ.
ran into.
It is frowned upon. Like, if you go into any kind of forums that talk about DayZ, everyone just bitches about people that are kill on sight.
Right, but who are the people that bitch? People like me who aren't good at those kind of games. And I think the majority of people who play DayZ like the way DayZ is, where they play brutally.
Yeah.
I don't like that aspect of DayZ, so I'm gonna bitch about it.
Well-
It's like all the bad reviews you hear about restaurants. The only people that write reviews are the people that have had bad experience. Nobody writes, a
The only
good
people that
review
write
unless
reviews
it's...
are people that have bitching to do, basically.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it. When I first started playing DayZ, I wasn't killing sight. I was like walking up to people. I was friendly, and then fucking I had a lot of stuff, and some guy just like straight fucking murdered us. Like, so like I was like,
Murder.
I don't fucking trust anybody any goddamn more. And I felt like such a dick when the first time I killed somebody because
At the
we were
airport.
we were at the military base, and we were in the server that was like, it's like the friendly server. It's like, don't kill on sight. And that was the server that we got killed on. So I'm like, all right, fuck everybody in this game. If I see somebody, I'm going to kill them. So I see this guy running like in the hangars, just like didn't really have anything. He was just some guy just like, yeah, I'm going to go see what's in these buildings. I'm fucking on the
You wait
like,
for him to turn around and keep running.
Yeah, I'm like on the roof just like freaking the fuck out because I see another human being. So like I see him going in these hangars. Dabney's in one of the hangars too that he's getting ready to go in or something. So I'm just like, is that you? Is that you? He's like, no, that's not me. I'm like, I'm fucking killing him. And like, I just like, I shoot him in the back.
He's gonna die.
I shoot him in the back with the Mosin. And I'm like, oh god, I just fucking murdered that guy. I felt so
You had
bad.
no idea.
For like 2 days, I had like PTSD. I was just like, oh man, I'm like, I'm such a dick.
I think it was that playthrough because I was playing with you guys at that point too, or that was after I had got killed.
Yeah,
And
all
when I
three
got
of us got
before
killed.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had all this great gear. I think we were alive a whole week.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
before
alive
we
for
got
like a
killed.
whole week, and I was
Yeah.
like, I went on this building to see what was up there, and like I fell off the ledge because the ladders are glitchy as shit right now. So I fell off the fucking ledge and died, and I was like, all right, I'm coming to you guys. So you guys were kind of like hovering around my body, And while you guys were there, you both got murdered by like some other dude.
Some random dude, yeah. Because we weren't really paying attention because we were like, oh, everyone's friendly. No one's going to come up and just shoot us.
It's
from
like, we're on the
downtown.
Everyone's friendly here.
Yeah,
we're on the
and
friendly
then,
server, so everyone's nice.
And the
No.
next thing we know, me and Olsen are just being shot in the back. And we're like, what the hell is going on? And then we all die. And that was pretty much the beginning of our rampage. Because after that,
the
anybody
nightmares
we
started.
saw,
Yeah,
we actually started hunting people.
Tell about
after
the
that.
nightmares that you had.
For some reason, like the first time I got killed in DayZ was I seriously got post-traumatic stress disorder. I fucking would just have terrible nightmares of losing my friends. And when we got killed, like waiting for my other friend, I had this dream that I was carrying Dabney. Like he got shot and he couldn't walk, and he's on my back, and somehow Goldeneye got thrown into this. So he's throwing proximity mines down onto the ground behind us, so those bastards can't get to us. And that was my dream for like 2 days straight. It was just this horrible fear of getting killed with all that loot. That's why that loot though.
Yeah, so you had nightmares from when you got killed, and I had like fucking nightmares from when I killed somebody. So I was just like sit up in the middle of the night. And I'm like, I murdered a man. It's like, I killed him.
His blood's on my hands.
Blood is on my hands. I can't wash it off, man. I killed a man. Don't you understand?
What don't you understand about this?
And then I got over and I was like, fuck it, it's a game. And then all I had to do was really move to a different server that wasn't a friendly server. And then I'm like, all right, I don't feel bad about killing people anymore. So solve that problem.
Then we just started murdering everybody.
There's a quote I read earlier that was some dude sent a letter in to one of the Rust guys, like the actual devs, and he's like, on your game, I've role-played a maniac, a sadist, a murderer, a thief, and a monster for too long. The next structure we create will be a police station. It's like,
Oh my god, that's serious.
like,
Yo,
it was deep, man.
Was it one of you guys tell me the story about the guy who built like a building around some other dude's house and was just like feeding him chicken like slowly throughout like, the days and stuff like that because he was trapped in there?
Yeah, they
I
built
laughed
like
so hard over my chest.
this because in Rust when you log out in Rust, your body stays behind. Some servers don't have
They're
that,
called sleepers.
but your body stays behind. It's called sleepers. So when you log off, people can kill you and take your stuff. So you build out like a little shack. Yeah, you build a little shack around your body so nobody takes your shit. So this guy ran up and found this body in this shack because you could kind of see through the cracks and stuff like that. And instead of killing him, he built a giant fortress like up and around the shack and waited till the guy logged in and made him take all his clothes off,
And he would
throw
talk to
everything
him.
he had. Yeah. He fucking would like talk to him and like whisper into his microphone because it's like open chat, and he would force feed him raw chicken, which just makes you throw up and poisons you. It's like, it was the most brutal shit.
And the dude would be like, yeah, my guild's going to come and fucking kill you, man. Just wait till my guild gets here.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, it puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Oh, man. That's what's funny about Rust, though. It's like you could do stuff like that. You don't see a lot of that kind of stuff in DayZ. It's usually
You do. I
see
mean,
that.
on some of those bigger servers, for example, I watched a video out there where these guys go into Cherno, or it might have been Electro, and they close down both sides of the city. And on both sides of the city, they put a checkpoint. It says, you can only pass if you give me your shoes. And it was something as simple as that, where they just enforced this checkpoint. And people who didn't give them the shoes were murdered instantly. Or either they actually, like, this is where we got this idea a while back. They actually took one guy who was like flicking him off and stuff like that. They took one guy, handcuffed him, faced him against the wall, and force fed him, what was it? It was like bleach, or no, it was the cleaner in the game. Yeah. So he like
spray or whatever.
yeah.
disinfectant spray. Yeah. Made him drink that because he didn't pay the toll of shoes.
the troll toll.
The troll toll.
Gotta pay the troll toll. But yeah,
Before
like,
you get the boys home.
DayZ and Rust both have that kind of like you can pretty much be the worst possible person on the planet kind of aspect.
Or you can be like a really cool guy. And if someone's
or you
in
can be a
need of
really
help,
cool
you
guy.
can help them out.
But
there's always
that's,
that dilemma.
That's the thing with, like, why I like DayZ more than Rust is everything's kind of more real. It feels like all your stuff, like, there's more of a consequence. Like, when
There's
I was
more value to
yeah,
it.
like, just because it takes so long to get stuff, and you're constantly struggling to find, like, resources, like food and things like that. In Rust, I never had a problem with, like, food, except, like, the first 5 minutes of the game. And also, once you build a house, and you can build, like, boxes and stuff to store extra shit in, then if you die, you're pretty much good, because you're just going to spawn in your house, so you're just going to lose what's on you. In DayZ, they don't have bases yet. They're going to implement them later, or they plan to, but they don't have them yet. So if you die, you spawn back at the coast with nothing. And you have to start all over again. And you lost, like, the shit there is hard to find. Like, it's hard to find a gun in DayZ.
To put it in perspective, to put it in perspective for the people who have either played one or the other, if the total map size for DayZ, I believe, is 220 square kilometers, legitimate in-game kilometers. So it takes you, what do you think it takes to run from far east to far west?
Too fucking long.
Dude,
Yeah,
right.
2.5, 3 hours, unless you just book it.
Unless you,
like,
if you make like a straight line across and you don't stop in any of the towns to find stuff, it probably only take like an hour.
right.
But
And in Rust, it'll take you 5 minutes to go from one side to the other.
Unless
There's
you're
a-
me and you're lost for 3 days out.
Yeah,
in the
unless you
wilderness.
run into the ghost lands where
forgot
nothing
that.
spawns.
that's another thing with Rust, like the map.
They're both in alpha.
Yeah,
so-
they're both in alpha, but in the Rust map, there's like a main part of the map where resources spawn and animals are there, and like there were zombies, and they took them out and they replaced them with like bears. I don't fucking know why, but so there's
There's
a
still
main part of the
placeholders,
map. Yeah, well, there's a main part of the map where all that stuff happens, and then you can keep going, and all that stuff just kind of stops.
It's like a
Like-
barren desert.
Yeah,
Just raw Unity terrain, just
Yeah,
engine
it's just
terrain that just
grassland
goes
with hills
forever.
and
yeah,
mountains and
and
stuff.
you can't. There is zero difference between where the map ends and where like the area is, except that resources don't spawn out there. So fucking Dabney, he was like 10 feet from my house, and like on a mountain, and it was like pitch black. In DayZ, when it's nighttime, it's like pitch black for like hours. In Rust, it's pitch black for like a minute, and then you can kind of see again. So it's like pitch black. It's like 1 minute at midnight where I'm like, all right, just hold on. You can just find my house after a while. And he's like,
I
no,
remember
I'm going
him
to find it now.
specifically. I remember him specifically saying, "Well, it can either be one way or the other. I'm just gonna pick."
Yeah, so he just kind of runs off in the middle of the night. I'm like, no, just my house is up here. Just hold on, and you can find it. He's like, no, I'm going now, and just fucking runs off in a direction. So it ends up with him being completely lost for like 4 fucking hours.
But
Like, in this-
legitimately, like, there was
Yeah, like-
days that went by in the game. Where I had
Days
no
went by in the
idea where I
game.
was.
We're
best
trying to
part.
like lead him back to us, like by like the direction of the sun
Yeah.
and shit.
They're
That
like,
was
yeah,
the
follow the
best
sun. So I
part.
followed the sun for an entire day, and then like someone else will come and was like, no, don't follow the sun. And then so I like
no,
didn't
sun's
follow the sun
rising
for the
and
whole day.
following, or rising and falling on different sides of the map, and this dude's just following the fucking sun. That like if he runs halfway,
Big
or he,
ass
like,
circle.
looks up and
It's
like
just going a
noon,
big
and
fucking
then it
circle.
turns. Yeah,
And we're just, it was the funniest goddamn thing. That was the best time in Rust that I had. Was
That's pretty
fucking
real.
Dabney being lost for 4 hours and me just laughing my ass off the entire
I
time.
just couldn't believe I stuck with it that long before Olsen found me. Because like honestly, it was getting to the point where if Olsen hadn't find me soon, like I was gonna quit the game. I was gonna be like, you know what, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna jump off this cliff. I'm gonna die somehow, but I'm not playing this shit anymore.
I think that's about when I stopped playing Rust. Is in Rust there's like a crafting system where like you build your house and stuff, but there's also like clothing, like leather armor, Kevlar armor, things like that, and then there's weapons like you can build like a 9mm pistol, a shotgun, assault rifle, things like that. And you get all these kind of recipes, you collect them, and then you have their crafting window. So we pretty much got everything at one point, and I was like, alright, this is fun. And then, like, everyone abandoned the fucking server we were on, so we were just by ourselves. So we had to switch servers, but, like, the recipes and stuff don't go with you, so you had to just start all over again. And I was just like, fuck this game. I'm like, I don't want to start over again.
That's the thing is like you'll start and then you'll be like, man, why are there so many fucking people on this server? And you keep getting killed.
Yeah,
and then like once you get all your shit, you're just like, where's everybody at? I want to go kill somebody. And then like everybody's gone. You're just like, fuck, man.
Yes, It's like at the beginning, you wish no one was around, and once you have stuff,
then
you can't wait to find people so you can just kill them. Like, you just want targets. You want to, like, we would go on raiding parties. Like, that was like the last night before we switched servers. We just kind of walked around with hatchets and just found people's houses, and like, we'd see a body sleeping in, and we're like, oh, fucking break into shit. And we'd all just like, 4 of us with hatchets, just like beating on the door, just like, just tear that shit down, and we'd fucking get in and like, put like 2 shots in the fucking guy's chest while he's sleeping on the ground.
Wasn't there one guy who locked himself in there? And we're like, hey man, just come out, nothing will happen to you, everything will be cool. Just come outside, man. And it's some dude who just started the game. You can tell. He just had this crappy little shack that he was hiding in. And he's like, okay. And he like opens the door. And as soon as he opens the door, one of the dudes in our group just blasts him with a shotgun.
It was Houston.
Killed him.
No,
it wasn't me.
It was Zeisman. It was Connerman. Like, it was so fast.
Like, I was
He's like, okay, I'm coming out. And the door animation hadn't even fucking finished.
I saw that shit and I was just like, this is for all those fuckers that killed me. I
can only imagine what was going through that kid's mind. Like,
he's like,
really, dude?
He's like, oh, well, I guess I'll fucking quit this game.
One thing I've been doing on Rust, just because you can, like, you can put your voice through into both of these games, and that's your only, well, not Rust, but in DayZ, that's your only source of communication is voice. Rust, you can do it too. Not in DayZ.
Yeah, you can type. It's just like proximity. Like you can't.
Oh yeah,
you can't do server wide.
Right. It's
and
not
in Rust,
server
it's server wide.
Right. But you can voice chat in Rust, and what I've been doing is making myself go like text silent in Rust, and I'll hold my microphone up to my speakers, and I'll just run around playing music, and it just scares the shit out of people. Like I'll hear somebody in their house, and I'll just get right next to it and play fucking Take Me Up, whatever, like Katy Perry songs or something like that. Just, go. Yeah, shit like that.
Just to see people just like flee. They're just like,
and you can
turn and just run the opposite direction as fast
you can
as
hear them crafting and they're not moving, and all of a sudden you just hear all these footprints. Like, oh my god, where's that coming from?
What's that noise?
Another thing with Rust in comparison with DayZ. In DayZ, you're kind of constantly moving around, just trying to find resources and stuff. And in Rust, you kind of set up shop in a certain area, and then you kind of take it over. Like, you take over a territory almost. Like, it's not set as a territory.
I remember.
Yeah, it's like gang wars. But we, on that one server, we set up, like, all our bases in this one valley. And this one guy built, like, this little shack, like, underneath Connerman's house. And it was, like, night, and I spotted it, and I'm like, is that your house? He's like, no, that's some other guy.
Why the fuck would I make that little shack when I've got like a tower on top of this mountain?
So I went to that guy's house, like, and he was in there. I could see the fire, and I see him, and I just start going like, you in our fucking valley? What the fuck do you think you're doing in our valley? And like, I see him like instantly put his fire out. I'm like, oh, you gotta put the fire out and think I don't fucking know you're there. I'm like, I know you're in that fucking house. You better come the fuck out. Like, I was just like harassing this guy, and he like would never respond. And like, I just started like shooting my gun in the air. I'm like, you better be fucking gone by morning.
And he was. He left.
Yeah, and
he
it
just,
like
cheesed it out of there.
Yeah, I was like, you got till morning to get the fuck out of our valley. And then, like, in chat, he was just like, please spare me.
He's like, please don't kill me.
Yeah.
He's like, I just started playing the game, don't kill me.
Well, one of the things with Rust, too, is, like, since there's different types of clothing, like, there's only, I think, 4 different types of armors. And you can identify, like, if you see somebody running, if they have a black armor on, that means it's Kevlar, which is, like, the best for fighting, basically. It's got a lot of bullet protection. So like what people have, but we got to the point to where we had all the recipes, but just because we wanted it to look uniform and like a gang, we had like our black armor with green headbands on. So like everybody would see us and they'd just be like, oh fuck, it's them.
It's them. It's that group.
You could identify people, or at least in the servers we played. There's official servers that always have like 200 people in them, and then there's private servers which are a little bit smaller, but they also don't have hackers, which is a huge problem. in like the official servers where people
They've
just
actually fixed that.
Oh, they have?
Yep, they have a new in-house banning system that's really aggressive. So the consequences for getting caught doing that are instantaneous permaban and a mark on your Steam account. And it's IP banned too, so it's completely
damn.
You can't get back
That's
into the
real.
game. And there are no like Steam. If you get banned out of a game, and most games in Steam, you can contest it. You can contact whoever initiated the ban and ask why you were banned and try to get out of it. There is none of that. There's no means to contest it.
Some Judge Dredd shit, man.
It is.
I am the law.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
I actually spent a little time in a public server, and you couldn't even do you'd walk up to a resource and get killed before, and now I haven't seen it in the game since.
Yeah,
and
like
so that's
that was
definitely doing.
That was the thing with the like official servers is you'd get in them as soon as you ran around. There were people just like, I don't know if they were under the world or something, but they'd be able to make it somehow where it registered your character as being up really high and falling.
Mm-hmm.
So they would kill you instantly with like fall damage, and you couldn't avoid it. Like if you were in your house,
And it was
if you were
scary
getting
too, because
resources,
you'd be doing something, and then your
Yeah.
character would go, "Ugh," like that.
Yeah,
and
just
you'd
be like,
jump,
you're-
and you'd
Hear
be
the
dead.
zip
and you're like,
noise,
what the
dude.
fuck?
That zip
And-
noise was so fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really bad because the best stuff comes in through airdrops in that game. So everyone would be running toward these airdrops, and as soon as you even would think about
Just
going
like
toward it,
3
you
or
would just
4
be
people
killed
just drop
instantly.
dead in the
Yeah.
valley.
Everyone just instantly murdered, except from like some hacker or something who's
The
taking all the
chat would
shit.
just blow up with
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, everyone's like, "What the
hacker?
fuck,
Who the
fucking
hell?"
hacker? Fuck this game!" And you'd just be like, "Yeah, fuck this game!" And like, all the while you're breaking into some other person's house, like, but they don't notice. Oh,
We spent a lot of
I
time
would
talking
say-
about Rust.
what?
Spent a lot of time talking
Yeah.
about Rust. What about DayZ? What do you guys really like about DayZ?
Well, like I was saying, I like DayZ a lot more than Rust because it's the consequences seem harsher. Like it's like a almost traumatizing experience. Like if you wanted to be, because like once you get your shit, like you want to fucking just protect yourself.
Yeah, it's a
You don't
fight
want-
for survival, man.
Yeah, it's like a fight for survival. Like you see other people, like in the distance, you're gonna fucking either hide or kill
it's
them.
a mental battle with like, should I kill him or should I run? I got
It's
all
like,
this
should
stuff.
I kill
got all
this person?
food.
I don't want to fucking shoot my gun because somebody else might hear the shot and find me. It's
Yeah.
like you just freak out like every time you see a person, and it's so like I don't know. It's not exciting. It's like it gets your blood pumping when
Yeah, hands
like
down,
if you
they're-
meet somebody or you come across somebody. And you just like point your gun at them, and you're like, "Are you friendly? Are you friendly?" And like,
Are you fucking friendly?
You're just like you're so close to shooting them, and then they like put their hands up in the air and start like wiggling around and shit. And you're just like,
wiggle,
"Just get
mate."
out of here, man!"
That's
Just
like
get the fuck
the
outta
funniest
here,
thing
man."
too. Is like on both these games when you walk up to somebody, you just start yelling friendly, friendly, friendly. It's like, dude, if the other person is not friendly, they're just gonna shoot you anyways.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. It is nerve wracking.
yeah. Like DayZ is a nerve-wracking experience, which I like a lot better. It's almost like I'm not saying Rust is arcadey and DayZ is like a simulator, but that's kind of how I would compare it in
That's
terms
how I
of like
compare
play
it.
style. Where Rust is, it's like here's the game. It's like go fucking beat a chicken with a rock and fucking get food, and then you beat a deer with a rock and a bear with a rock, and you still get chicken for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, it is alpha too.
yeah, it's
I would-
alpha. So I mean, they're both in alpha. So they've got bugs, they've got glitches, things like that.
They're,
but I
think-
they're worth it to check it out, though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Like I've had so much fun in DayZ and Rust both, but Rust is kind of like, here's the game, have fun with the game. DayZ is like, here's the game. It's like
Try to
you will
survive.
fucking be traumatized by playing it. It's like
One of the things that I
Do you
kind of
need
like,
help not sleeping at night?
yeah,
one of the things that I kind of see with Rust is I kind of compare it to an MMO almost, to where like you spend all this time building up and like getting shit to make a house, whereas like in an MMO you get up in levels and get your gear. and you're always gonna have that as like your fallback. Whereas DayZ, it's just kind of like, dude, if you die, it's like what was it, Diablo on like the super hard mode,
hell
mode,
it's like
Inferno
permadeath
or something. Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. You can definitely say Rust is the more Care Bear version, but it's still like.
I have fun in both games, but and probably if I were to pick one right now, just like on a day-to-day mood, I'd probably pick Rust because it doesn't, traumatize me. But you can't get past the fact that when I play DayZ and something happens in it, my heart is just slamming in my chest. Yeah. And that's a different kind of excitement that very few games can capture. I don't play a lot of horror games, but it's like when you get really scared in a horror game, but at a more frequent and visceral level.
Yeah, to me, Rust is like a game where you can just like pick it up, play for 30 minutes, have a quick fun, and then turn it off. Like DayZ requires like hours of time.
Yeah, you've got to have hours.
Otherwise, like you're not going to get anywhere. Because you got to go, you got to first find food, and then you got to find some gear, and then you got to find some water, and then like find backpacks and clothes, and then weapons, and then you're just like
while you're finding those
over.
backpacks and clothes and weapons, your food and water's running out.
Yeah, and you're constantly looking over your back to make sure someone's not about to fucking hit you with an axe or some shit.
If you're schizophrenic or you suffer with paranoia, don't play DayZ.
Yeah, don't play DayZ.
Because like Rust, you can forget about a lot of stuff because you'll just be there hammering away at a tree or a rock or like picking up some sort of resource, and then you're like, oh, I need to build my house. Now I need to get more resources. In DayZ, you're always focused on survival. It's
in DayZ, you're like,
is there people in this house? Let me see if the doors are open.
Yeah, imagine like Rust, just like you're kind of like Minecraft, just getting resources. Like there's an added danger because it's more PvP and stuff, and the zombies or bears, I guess now, can carry you or kill you unless you have like a legitimate weapon like a bow and arrow. But once you get the bow and arrow and stuff, you can pretty much fend for yourself until you build a big house and things like that. Mm-hmm. In DayZ, it's like you start out, you have to just sprint inland as fast as you can so you don't get murdered instantly by people that are just like walking around the coast killing people. And then it's like you'll have to like crawl up a hill for like an hour, hope somebody doesn't see you, scout out some town in the distance, see if like doors are open or if you see anybody else going in, hope nobody else is scouting out the town, go and try to get food and like get out as fast as you can to make it back out into the woods to safety and hope no one saw you and shit like that. Like, it's just like a gritty kind of survival thing, whereas Rust is just like, not Care Bear, but just more focused on.
It's more relaxed.
It's more casual.
Yeah,
I hate to use that word, but it's more casual.
Yeah, let's say casual, but not in a negative way. It's just like
you fucking casuals.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
fucking
like that.
casuals. No, it's just the game is more of the focus in Rust, and in DayZ, survival is the focus. Like DayZ wants you to forget that it's a game almost.
Just be scared.
Yeah, just be scared for your life.
Definitely a simulator.
One of the things in Rust too is like there's people make alliances almost immediately, and like you'll basically, if you meet somebody and you're nice to them and they're nice to you, normally you'll team up with them and you'll like build your base right next to theirs just because you have that false sense of security then. And you'll see like
DayZ. I was just gonna say,
none of that.
Yeah,
no, absolutely
Rust, you
not.
can meet up, have alliances, you can talk to people in like global chat. In DayZ, like the saying goes, don't trust anybody except yourself and your close friends. Like, like people that you know in real life or something that you play the game with. It says don't trust anybody because you'll be like, oh, I'm friendly. They'll be like, yeah, I'm friendly too. And then you turn around, and they shoot you in the back, and they just take all your shit,
all your food, everything, your ammo, all the stuff that they need. They just took from you for the hours of stuff that you found. Searching for that stuff. Like, they just took all of it. So it's definitely intense.
But it boils down to if I were to choose one or the other, if I were to have one or the other, I'd have DayZ probably.
Yeah, if I had to pick one out of both, well, I'm not going to really say right now because they're both in alpha and they're adding stuff
right now,
like every week.
Right now. What about right now?
If I said right now, I'd say DayZ.
Okay.
But if I, like, next week, I don't know, because I don't know what they're adding to Rust. And in DayZ, they're adding stuff all the time, like every week. Or we started playing that like last month, I think.
Yeah.
And when we started, all the guns were like a Mosin, and 2 pistols, and like it was glitchy
And
as
4.
shit. And even just a month, they've added like multiple new guns. They've added like you can now spray paint your guns. You can spray paint like bike helmets into like black or camo patterns. You can like all these new clothing items. There's all you can forage for berries and shit. They've added new zombies. They've added all this stuff, and like they've even increased the stability on top of all that. So it's getting like just better and better all the time, and both games are doing it. Like I have no idea what they're planning to add for Rust in the future.
They're both very ambitious. But
Yeah.
I think if I had to choose between the two, right now I would pick Rust. But if they added cars, or when they add cars, because they are adding cars, right, in DayZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
when
adding
they add
vehicles.
cars, and if you guys were playing, like we were all playing together, I would pick DayZ.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I would pick DayZ over Rust simply because I like playing it with you guys. But if I was playing by myself, I'd rather play Rust than DayZ. I think. I just don't think DayZ is that fun by yourself, in my opinion. There's just too much going on, and like the chances
It's too
of
fucking
survival
scary by yourself.
are so
It's
slim when you're by
horrifying.
yourself. Like Rust, you can just go have fun by yourself, just farm. Like I like to farm and like do random stuff like that, so it's not a big deal. And
Digging machine.
so if I die, yeah, like in Minecraft, I would just dig. That's all I
Oh
did.
man,
Just go-
if you can find this dude a pickaxe in,
yeah, give me a pickaxe, I will go to work for hours digging out mountains.
he will dig entire caverns.
But yeah, I mean, as a group, I like playing DayZ. By myself, I would rather play Rust. But as of right now, if I could choose one, it'd be DayZ, just for the content.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this week. We're on iTunes now, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yep.
Yeah, and we have a new website. Do you know what the
Yep.
address is?
It's we have our old website, which is mediocregamecast.blogspot.com. We're gonna kind of, I think, phase that out. We're if you start following us, we're in our growing stages right now, so we're trying to find out, the best place to host our podcast, where if we can get a website up along with it and maintenance with that. Right now, we're on Podbean, which is a pretty popular podcasting site. So it's mediocregamecast.podbean.com, and I'll put all these in the description, and get you links and everything that we've talked about. But the more followers we can get, the more spread out we can get to.
And we're
Yeah,
also
and these guys
on,
can leave comments
iTunes.
and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Like if they
um,
have ideas of like stuff they want us to talk about. I mean, we don't
Yeah,
have
if
an
there's stuff
issue
you
with
want
like,
us
to research and look at, or some games you want us to play. We don't care. Like, I mean, it's not a big deal. So if you guys want us to play something and try it out and give our opinion, then we're
yeah,
down to do that.
we're always
too.
down to play things. So you can get us on mediocregamecast.podbean.com. You can if you can follow us there, you can comment on the shows. We're also on iTunes. Mediocre Gamecast. I think it's all one word.
Yeah,
You can
it's all
split it
one
up. It
word.
doesn't really matter. So you can get us there. You can subscribe to.
Facebook's coming soon. I'll
Yes.
throw that
Yeah,
in
we're
too.
we're working on Facebook and an email system so we can get people to message us better. But you can follow us on Podbean. You can follow us on iTunes. If you can review us on the iTunes, that'll be great. We can respond to any reviews that you guys give us. Once we get the email and stuff set up, if anyone wants to contact us that way, we'll read emails over the air. We'll answer questions, things like that. But for now, until we actually have people listening and following us, I think that'll do it for this week.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Later.
All right.
reflected in your ears.